All right, guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to react to this DrPhil show where they're talking about race neutrality and is discrimination a two-way. If I see a cultural related issue and it's on the DrPhil show and it concerns culture, race, liberals, conservatives, whatever you call them, I'm game. I'm game with that. All right, let's get down with it and let's react to it.
Well, we're discussing the very sensitive topic of whether or not white people are discriminated against in education and the workplace. Is this a made-up issue in the news, or is there a good reason why some people feel this is real? Now, I want to introduce Mala Epinobi, who is a conservative podcast host and a public speaker. Mala, you've been listening to everything that we've been talking about here. I said there may be a third factor here. They don't have the opportunities in some of the schools they're coming from to get prepared, and that has to be addressed, but we can get back to that in a minute. But what do you think about what we're talking about so far?
Right. I'll talk to your example that you gave about the Monopoly game and a white person being able to run the track twice over and a black person starting after that. The solution is not to then pick up the black person and run them around the lap 4 times. The solution is to fix the game and make that equal, which would be a race-neutral future. We should not be looking at race when it comes to college admissions at all. And when it comes to things like affirmative action, if we truly said we cared about minorities, it wouldn't be disproportionately affecting Asian Americans, as Candace said, like it is now. Why do we not care about that minority group?
We absolutely care about all minority groups, just like we care about all students. But I think
Yeah, that's what people say. That's not necessarily what's reflected by society. And that I can attest to even here in South Africa. Asian communities hardly participate in political related issues or social related issues and discourse. It's usually typically going to be around black people and white people, colored people, probably some Indians, whatever. Although here in South Africa, Chinese are classified as black. They fall under the BEA categorization, which has to do with basically recognizing those who belong to any race, people of color, racial group that has been previously disadvantaged or not afforded certain opportunities during times at the apartheid regime. Okay. In this case, in American culture, it would probably be around slavery during times like slavery. So I don't know what the situation is in America, but with the Asian communities, a lot of them, they thrive. They thrive a lot. And you never hear them sort of like bitching about anything. They don't talk about privilege. They don't talk about being left behind or anything. They never get any kind of preference or whatever or anything like that. So that community is pretty much really solid and quiet. They're pretty quiet when it comes to commentating on anything that has to do with race relations or anything that has to do with, discrimination, racism, or anything like that. Okay, I never hear them playing the victim, but it's always about hard work. They always emphasize on hard work, being an example, setting example. It's embedded in their culture. But anyway, I just thought I should throw that in there. But Asians are usually not always included. They probably are on white paper, but systematically, realistically, politically, that's a conversation to be had. All right.
everyone has a significant misunderstanding of these policies. They're comprehensive or holistic in nature. This is one factor among many other factors. And then we say across all those factors, looking at these and taking them in tandem, is this student best prepared? Because it's not just about your intelligence, that's important. It's also about your drive, about your resilience, about your ability to overcome challenges, and that's what makes you successful.
Even with those factors taken into account, Asian students and white students are discriminated against when compared to their black counterparts. How is that the case? And it seems that with affirmative action, we've dictated we care about black students, we care about Hispanic students. These are the minorities who are going to benefit from this, and Asians are not, and Native Americans. But the through line is not necessarily socioeconomic status. It doesn't seem to be resources. It seems to be that these are the minority groups that we feel bad for. We don't feel bad for Asian Americans because they have a culture of high academic standing. They have a culture of drive and of facing adversity. We look at black students and Hispanic students and Native American students. We are inferior.
That's actually true. That's what I'm talking about right there. Okay. It's always about who do we benefit out of? Okay. How do we benefit out of this specific group? Who's complaining the most? Who's making the loudest noise? Because with regards to Asians, they're always excelling academically, because they don't really play that victim card or anything like that. It's just, I guess it's just not something that is being cultured in them. I don't know. I mean, you can look at a lot of things around, look at someone like Justin Lin. Is it Justin Lin? was performing phenomenally, but has never been afforded the same opportunity as other players that he probably plays a lot better than. Okay, Linsanity and everything. Jeremy Lin. Okay, look at Jeremy Lin, not Justin Lin. So, I mean, his story is quite sad too, and I mean, he ended up winning a championship with Raptors, but yeah, he wasn't really proud of that, and he had to go to China in order to make it because he was well appreciated there than in America. I mean, there's always that stereotypical thing about Asians and so on. They are like a minority that nobody seems to they're always left behind. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like an afterthought or something. There's that random Asian dude or something,
And we pity them.
That's what makes my blood boil. I mean, it's just, I am not less than you because you are white. I don't need you to look at me and feel bad for me because of the color of my skin. And that's effectively what you're doing every time you take an application and you say, oh, well, this girl is black, so I kind of feel bad for her, so I'm going to put her at the top of the line. It's just not necessary. I believe, right, that black Americans are capable of performing in the same capacity as their white peers. You two don't actually believe that. Because if you support affirmative action, you are basically saying that black Americans cannot do it on their own.
True, and 100%, I agree with that. Okay, some people get it all mixed and twisted. Black people it's never been about, we need your pity. We don't need your pity. I don't need your pity. I don't need your handout. I need you to recognize that I am fully capable in the same way that my white counterparts or every counterpart is afforded the opportunity. Give me the same opportunity, afford us the same opportunity that you afford everybody else. And you will show you what we can perform. We are capable of performing. I come from a rural place where there's a village where they never had electricity, like all the way up until like 2016, 17 or something. Only like recent, like 2018, 2016, 17. No, 2017, sorry. Until 2010 or something, they started to have electricity in that village. Some of the best performing students came from that village. And they never had electricity. And it's like so bizarre because the rest of us were a little more privileged than that village because, our regions had electric, we could afford to have electricity running in our locations. So it doesn't matter how less privileged a person is, but, give them the opportunity and the chance. They can perform academically well, professionally, okay? Hey, look at me. I'm just saying.
No, what I'm saying is that there's a history of racism and exclusionary practices, and it says we're reducing it all the way down just to race. And what these admissions practices are actually doing is saying, no, there's a constellation of factors that we're considering in the holistic review of this application.
So remove race from the applications.
Is basically making it about race. You're saying these are the black people, these are the white people, these are the Asian people, these are the Native American people, as you mentioned. But as one of the audience members said, what about people who are of mixed race? I'm of mixed background. What am I supposed to mark on an application? Am I supposed to mark multiple boxes? And plus, if you are painting people as an oppressor, if you're white,
That's a
and then
terrible
saying
thing to
that
tell
you're
someone to do.
oppressed,
Well, it's the truth because you
if
believe in
you're of
affirmative
color,
action. So I said Mark Black. If you're a mixed student, I'm in an interracial relationship, so I can speak to this. I have a son that's half white and a son that's half black and a daughter that's half white and half black. They're going to mark black because I know that there are people like you at the universities who will say, well, because this person is black, I'm just going to let them in.
No, they're going to mark black because they're black.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.
Oh dear, that's some crazy stuff right there, okay? Listen, I don't know about that. I mean, the debate goes on. You might want to go and listen to it further because they start talking about, because I've seen another clip where they go at it, Candice and the doctor. Was it Dr. John Pasquarella? Is it? Dr. Luke Wood and Dr. John Pasquarella. Okay, I don't know, whichever one of those, okay, but the mixed race light-skinned guy, he's one of the doctors or professor or whatever, okay, they go at it back and forth because Candace says, listen, she's got 2 kids who are mixed race. And there was a back and forth about that whole mixed race thing, whereby, they have to be, they're going to be recognized because of the color of their skin or that, they don't know how to, how should they identify? Are they half black? Are they half white or whatever? On their college applications, they'll be ticked off as black. So they're being recognized by the color of their skin, not necessarily their intelligence. So how do you sort of like use affirmative action to favor students on the basis of their academic potential and ability instead of just picking people by the color of their skin. Because the thing about it is that, there's a similar issue that was had here in South Africa that we struggle around it, because there was the whole problem with affirmative action is that, you want to kind of like support, groups of people who have been previously disadvantaged, if you may. As I said, previously disadvantaged, I mean, there was a certain point in time when certain opportunities were not afforded to certain groups. Okay. So what's the argument there? Give people an opportunity. Give us the same opportunity that have been afforded to other groups of people, or racial groups, or whatever the case may be. It's not give us your pity, like just open up the door and just shove everybody in there, because what that ended up doing was you have within the public sector, you have a number of people who are employed because they're female and because they're black and because everybody's just trying to sort of checklist a box. And some people try to be clever about it, because BEE, Broad-Based Economic Empowerment Program, was aimed at making sure that people have employed enough black people within their companies to make sure that they meet their quotas. What ended up happening was that some people started to get clever about it. And so they would just do a little thing called fronting, or they'll just have somebody black, they'll have them sign on the dotted line so that they can, even myself, I was once employed by a company. They said, listen, they told me that, listen, we need you because you're black, okay? Because we need to reach our certain BEE tier or level, because there are tiers to these things. Now, as soon as they were done and they reached their level, they got rid of me. So we got a problem where people always find a way to be clever about this type of things, but it affects service when you got people who are less than qualified, but they're just there because somebody wants to checklist a box. You end up having a system that is, how you put it, mediocre. You end up having mediocre in terms of service delivery, mediocre in terms of, if you're looking at it from a productivity standpoint. Who wants to hire somebody because, they just sort of meet a certain demographic or just to check this box? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. But I get where they're coming from. I get the argument. So that's the story right there. So I don't know. You guys tell me what you think about this whole thing. Just that segment of the show. I thought it was quite interesting to kind of talk about it. All right. Thanks for watching. Do hit that like button. Do hit that subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm going to see you on the next video, guys. All right. Super awesome. Boom.